Okay, I'm gonna play a game of chess against DeepSeek. So DeepSeek decides to play white. I'm gonna respond. What the heck? E5. So DeepSeek plays knight to f3. I defend the pawn with knight to c6. That's already wrong, but okay. This plays Roy Lopez. Bishop to b5. Number one, this is wrong. It does not pin my knight to my king because of the pawn here. However, I'm just gonna play knight to f6 to attack the pawn. See how DeepSeek responds. Well, this and this is wrong already, but keep going. So DeepSeek decides to castle. I'll just take the pawn on e4. Somehow DeepSeek has not made any illegal moves yet. So DeepSeek plays rook to e1, attacking my knight. I'll just go back to knight to f6. Sorry. Just retreat my knight. Now DeepSeek can capture my pawn now. See? Yep. So DeepSeek decides to take my knight here, take my pawn here with this knight. Well, I don't like this already. He can take my knight here with the check and then take my queen. So I'm just gonna block that, my bishop, and get ready to castle. No. So DeepSeek decides to play bishop to bishop takes c6. I'll just recapture it. So DeepSeek plays d4, pretty solid. I'll just castle. And right now, DeepSeek's playing pretty good. I think I'm losing. So DeepSeek plays queen to d3. Don't like my. I'm gonna play c5. Just trade off these pawns, fixing my pawn structure. So DeepSeek decides to take, exploiting my pinned d7 pawn so that it cannot take. What? Because if I take here, he's going to take my queen, and it's defending this bishop. What? You know, just recapture with my bishop, right? Actually, it says this loses material. The queen takes d7, but I would just. So I don't think that works. Anyways, I'll just. Never mind. So apparently, DeepSeek thinks that it wins a pawn with queen captures d7, forking my bishop on c5 and my rook on a8. And if I recapture it, then he just plays knight captures d7, which wins a piece. That it does not win a piece because I have two pieces there. Anyways, so apparently it's forking these two pieces. I'm just gonna take with my bishop. Even, what is this? Is DeepSeek on? Like even if we look here, what is DeepSeek on about? So apparently DeepSeek thinks it has a rook here. No, I'm just gonna ignore this. I'm just gonna. Would you like to resign and start a new game or continue here for instructional purposes? Um, I'm just gonna take DeepSeek's queen. Cause I don't want to resign. This is winning. So DeepSeek actually admits that it made a mistake in its earlier analysis. So, anyways, plays bishop to e3. And so far, I'm all made legal moves. They're not the best moves though. Since I'm on material, I'll just try to trade. I'll just trade the bishops. So DeepSeek decides to recapture with their rook. Apparently thinks its rooks are more active. Okay, maybe one of them, but this one's just still stuck in the corner, so I'm not sure about that. Anyways, I'll try to just start developing, you know. Just move my bishop here, threatening this back rank. So, oops. So, DeepSeek makes its first illegal move of the game. It goes rook A to e1, doubling up its rooks on the e file. My possible responses: rook A to d8. It kills my queen. I can also go c5, challenging the center and opening lines. Queen to d5. So it knows I still have a queen here, and it still suggests that I go here. Never mind, I'll just take this free pawn. So DeepSeek decides to play rook to e7. I'm not sure which rook they're talking about. since in either one a rook would have to hop over pieces. But I'm going to choose the one that doesn't immediately lose for DeepSeek, because if DeepSeek went this rook, I have a back rank checkmate. So unfortunately, this still loses the rook. And apparently this is a critical move where black must defend accurately to avoid material loss. However, we are playing against the legendary DeepSeek, who, after losing that rook, plays rook takes e7, exclamation mark. And forking my bishop on c2 and my knight on f6. And I'm going to lose a piece now. And apparently, DeepSeek seems to think it still has a queen. Would you like to resign or start a new game or see the force line play out? For learning purposes, I'd recommend resetting. Why? Queen takes e7 was a mistake. I'm just gonna do rook a to d8 and just threaten back rank checkmate. And here, DeepSeek plays rook 1 to e2. I mean, DeepSeek only has one rook right now, so. So, apparently since DeepSeek seems to think it has two rooks, let's give it two rooks. Unfortunately, it does not, and it still does not matter, because now I can deliver back rank checkmate. And apparently still seems to think I should have a queen too. Because it says queen d5 is my best attempt. Would you like to continue fighting in this difficult position, analyze where things went wrong, or start a new game? Pretty sure this is in a difficult position even for Martin. Just gonna play rook to d1 check. Unfortunately, DeepSeek will not get checkmated and goes a king to f2, taking its own pawn to avoid checkmate. You know what, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep checking DeepSeek. So I decided to go knight to e4, check. Oops. See the form? I'm just gonna. It still thinks it's the 17th move. And apparently it somehow knows what its wish in check is. That's interesting. What does it even play? White must respond to check. So I don't think it chose one of these. Didn't really make move. Well, I'll just make a move forward. Well, its king is already on f2. The king can't move to h1. Also, rook is also suggesting rook takes on e4. Whoops. It's also well, since this is the only legal move, I'll choose this for DeepSeek. In which case, I'll just recapture the rook. And it is still a 17th move. But, uh-oh. I'm pretty sure just DeepSeek just completely forgot its knight is here. Yeah, even on here. But DeepSeek decides to take my bishop. I want so badly just making a legal move right now. But never mind. I'll just take DeepSeek's knight. It's still the 17th move. Rook takes on b1. And now my bishop on c2 is hanging. This is wildly unfair. My bishop's trapped. I don't even have my bishop anymore. It was too greedy. You took my rook move diagonally. I don't even have my bishop right now. Unfortunately, DeepSeek plays rook takes e1 and I get mated.